what do you think their problem is God entering creation? Why do you think they make such a big issue that God cannot or will not enter his creation? This creation is so unholy, bad, wrong, sinful place that Allah will never do that. Why would you think they make such a big deal out of this?
Yeah, that's confusing to me, because the Muslims, to say that Allah will not come into contact with creation is a contradiction. Because if he doesn't come into contact with creation, who created the heavens and the earth? The very fact that Allah has to communicate with angels and send them down means he is in contact with creation, unless you think angels are not part of creation. See, that's a contradiction. You can't have Gabriel being sent to Muhammad without this implying that God comes in contact with his creatures. Therefore, the notion that God doesn't come into contact with creation is a contradiction, because if he doesn't, then number one, how did he create? Because to create means he's going to come in contact with that which he brings into being. And secondly, how did he send the Quran if he doesn't come into contact with creation? Beyond that, in chapter 19, 16 to 21, we're told Allah sent his spirit, specifically verse 17, we're told Allah sent his spirit. It says, we sent our spirit who appeared as a man. So a man appeared to Mary. Mary didn't know that was a spirit. She thought it was a man. So then the spirit appearing as a man, he says, I'm only a Rasul, a messenger of Lord, to give you a faultless son. Now we got another problem. If Allah can send his spirit to appear as a man, come in contact with creation, and then cause Mary to get pregnant with a faultless son, then how does Allah avoid coming in contact with creation? Chapter 66, verse 12 of the Quran, Surah Al-Tahrim, says that spirit comes out of Allah because he blows the spirit out of himself. Nothing in Allah is created. That which comes out of Allah must be uncreated, unless you believe that Allah consists of created parts, which would be shirk or blasphemy if you're a Muslim. So that means if the spirit comes out of Allah, it's uncreated. And if it comes out of Allah and enters creation and appears as a man and enters Mary to cause her to get pregnant, then where do you get the notion that Allah does not contact creation? Because his very own spirit that comes out of himself comes into contact creation, enters creation, appears as a man. That doesn't work.